I say in terms of the redemption part, I'm cool with it, but I would like to see more of what they hinted at. What was it, like chapter 62, when the Joni was like, sit your ass down somewhere. Like, I want to see more of that because not everybody was really happy with this man getting a pardon. Like even the anime showed it in the episode was like 480, Shippuden 480. You got all those people protesting and shit, and Sasuke had those chakra seals on his eyes and everything. I wish we saw more of that. Like, I mean, I've read it in the novels where it's people not really too fond of Sasuke and he's having to keep a low cover when he's riding on like the train and going through different villages. But I wish they would show more of that. I think that'd be more of a payoff for his character. But like when it comes to everything outside of the Urashiki time slip arc, I mean, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I don't necessarily have a huge problem as to how Sasuke right now is being portrayed. One of the biggest things that I personally have a problem with is, of course, the first thing, Sasuke's power. I think that there's multiple things that Sasuke can do immediately to make him stronger. Get an arm, get another dojutsu, like there's just so much more stuff. But not only that, also him kind of like going ghost in the manga for such a long period of time. I know this right here is like not necessarily like a big or like mainstream criticism of Sasuke, but like even I won't say right now because he did make an appearance as recently, but like for long stretches, like he just goes completely ghost. But that's pretty much all I really have. All the problems I really have with Sasuke as of right now. Matter of fact, I'm probably forgetting the criticism, but as of right now, that's pretty much it.
But him not being in there, like that's kind of like if you go back to like when Naruto was running, like Sasuke, like, and that's one thing I gave Kishimoto credit for. Like, he would keep Sasuke out of that bitch for long stretches, and there'd be times where he would take Naruto out the fucking manga. Like, he would just focus on other shit. Like, you would have like a year where Sasuke's in the manga, and then there'd be like a year and 18 months where it's just on Naruto, and then you would kind of switch back over to Sasuke. Like, it gives you a chance to miss the characters. Now I know for like Kishi, I think it was like in Data Book 3, one of the things that he had wrote was that Sasuke's designs, it's either Data Book 3 or it's what he said in his interview with his first editor, Yaegi. Sasuke's design is just a bitch for him to draw.
Mm.
And I think that kind of played a role in him keeping Sasuke out of the manga for so long. Now with Ikimoto, I don't necessarily know what the deal with Ikimoto is on it, but I'm kind of used to that. I think that Boruto's manga could benefit more from not having Boruto as the sole focus. I think that's probably the one thing that you gotta do something like that to make you miss Boruto's character more. Because when he's like constantly in your face, always fucking there, and you're just kind of looking, it's like, well, there's no development with him. You got give us more room to miss the guy. That way, when you come back and you see him, and like if he's training or like Momoshiki's popping up like the boogeyman or some shit like that, it makes you say, "Oh shit, what happened?" Like
Mm.
we need more of that.
I see what you. Mello was. I believe we were just talking about this the other day. How Boruto needs that like Goku moment, right?
Yeah,
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 like
we were just talking about in the last part.
I think that would be a pretty cool kind of you know thing to do with the character where like in Dragon Ball, Goku never really showed up until the very end, right? The main or rather the side characters ran the show and then the main character came through. So, that old saying, if you're never gone, how can we miss you type of thing. I think that would be pretty cool for a Boruto. And I think the side characters definitely need some development, especially in the manga, for sure. Yeah.
Hmm.
That's yeah, 'cause, like once you got like Dragon Ball switched to the Z stuff like around like 138, 39, somewhere around there, and like Goku had gotten to a point where you had to kind of like let him out, like the Saiyan saga. He's training, and then he gets back on the Earth, and you see him for the final fight with Vegeta. But then like Gohan, Krillin, Yajirobe did their thing, and then you got the Namek, and it was the same thing. Like they dealt with the Ginyu Force and everything, and like Goku wasn't there. The artificial human saga, same thing. The man had the heart attack, and then you had like the Boo saga, same shit. That's a good ass point, man. Like, yo, that's a good ass point.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it'd be cool.
it's like it's almost like he's like never there. And again, it's all very good for the side characters. And speaking of the side characters, right now I believe that the Boruto manga they're trying to implement a lot of the side characters into the actual main core storyline with this content house that they're actually implementing. Well, what are your thoughts on the content house?
Man, that's gonna be a horny house, man. Like fuck that. That's me horny house. Like
What?
you,
Jesus
you
Christ.
I'm telling yo, I swear to God, yo, Viz got to start putting translator notes on like the manga because like they gotta put translator notes on there because like a motto like a few chapters ago it's like yeah Ada you can't be shacking up with code Kawaki's not gonna want you like that and you're diminishing the your chances of getting them and then like Shikamaru's using the same thing like you're gonna be living with Ada and like Viz just put cohabitate on there like they gotta they gotta put the translator notes on there because like it's so much fucking context that's like dirty meanings hidden in there. Like I guarantee you it's gonna be some dirty jokes slipped in there where you got Ada and Kawaki all in the same thing. Like I guarantee you're gonna see some humor on that. I can almost guarantee that you're gonna see something on that end.
Yeah,
Yo,
definitely.
that you bring that up though, like, what's your what mistranslation do you hate the worst, as far as like the manga goes?
Oh man, for Boruto. I really think that they need to do a better job translating Ada stuff. Like it's just like the English translation is the worst with it. Like, and that's no disrespect to the people at Viz because they got a hard job. Because like Japanese to English, like Japanese is like a level 5 language, and English is like a level 1, and you're trying to translate something that doesn't go word for word, and then you got 3 alphabets that you got to look at and it's so context heavy and then you got a guy that's writing the shit where he's purposely mixing shit to where if you translate it one way it's clean, you translate it another way there's a dirty joke in there, and you translate it another way it's a whole different. It goes back to the whole Naruto thing about the hidden meaning behind the hidden meaning, and the kanji is written in a similar way, but like with Ada they don't do a good job of capturing when she's speaking. There's always a backhanded thing in there. Like when she was calling Amato dandy and everything. Like when you look at the way she was switching between the kanji and the higurana in there, she's giving Amato a backhanded compliment where she's like, he's so dandy. That wasn't like, oh my God, he's so dreamy and everything. It's like, look at this motherfucker here. That was the vibe she was giving off when she was talking about him. And like when Kawaki shows up and Naruto and Shikamaru and all them, and Ada's like, "Oh my God, you messed up everything, started over." What she's really talking about on there is like, you just fucked up my whole thing for romantic affairs, and I really feel like they should have put the translator notes on there, but I guess they're not doing it because they want to confuse people. But you're not getting the full context if you're leaving that stuff out. So like with a character like that, you have to do it because she does it so often. And when you got a manga where the guy admits he's not very good at drawing expressions, that just adds to it.
Right.
Mhm.
So do you think like the anime would do a better job at what the manga is pretty much just like dropping right now?
I mean, they'll probably add some extra scenes 'cause like they did that like with the Kawaki car stuff. Like Naruto eating ramen with Kawaki wasn't in the manga, or and like they changed some stuff. Like they cut out what was it? They cut out Naruto transforming into six pass chakra mode, and you had what's his face Kawaki running away. It's like, oh my God, he might be as strong as Jigen or stronger, and they cut that and they reworked the whole thing to make Naruto more sympathetic. So I think the anime is going to do a better job with it.
Mhm.
The only thing I kind of worry about is like when Crunchyroll gets those subs.
Mhm.
That's what I worry with because like the subs
Exactly.
haven't been 100% accurate.
Right. So you say you didn't
Yeah.
like the dub though? My bad. My bad, bar.
Now you asking the questions. I'm about to ask. Go ahead. Right?
You say you didn't like the dub though, yeah?
Which dub?
The Naruto. I mean, sorry, I'm about to say the Naruto explained dub. The Boruto dub.
And I think I watched like 3 or 4 clips. I hadn't seen Boruto's anime dubbed yet.
Oh, okay.
I see. I was gonna ask that question just because of the sheer fact that if it's dubbed, it might be a better translation. We might have to, well, we might get a better understanding of what the actual characters are saying. You see what I'm saying?
I don't know. Viz is. I'm not gonna say Viz does a bad job because like they don't do nearly as bad of a job as Funimation did back in the day. But like Viz will take some liberties with stuff. Like a lot of English dubs will add extra mouth flaps because they change dialogue. Sometimes it's to make it more Americanized. Sometimes it's to add extra lines in there to make the context of everything easier to understand. Sometimes, like with Japanese, with some of the words in English, there's not one word for it, so you have to use multiple words in order to convey what you have on there. So English dub's gonna be hit or miss on it.
I see what you mean. One of the other questions I definitely did want to ask you, since we are talking about like kind of the production of the series, we, one of the last times that we did have you on, we were talking a lot about how the Boruto manga is actually portrayed or how it's illustrated, and particularly you didn't necessarily like how it was like just like all boxes and it looked all bland and stuff like that. Since now we have like Kishimoto kind of like having a more hands-on type of effect, did you notice a change?
So with Boruto, it's always been interesting. Like to understand it, it's more you have to kind of understand why Ikimoto has it. Because like in terms of like why Kishimoto pulled Ikimoto to begin with, because like Ikimoto was like one of those up and comers, like the guy that's doing the Sasuke Red Stand stuff now. He's the up and comer. But in this case, Ikimoto was supposed to go to a gag manga, didn't because Kish was like, yo, you wasting your talent there. Told his editor, yeah, you could get him. And a manga he didn't think was going to last as long as it did went for 14, almost 15 years. So Boruto's the opportunity for him to kind of stretch his wings, and he allows him to do his own Nimu, which is basically do his own paneling himself and not really do too many corrections. And with Boruto's art, like Ikimoto does a good job of I don't want to fuck it, I'll go there. He does a good job of um capturing the aesthetic part where Naruto's manga didn't use like a lot of tone. And when you see like a lot of people like, oh, look at this is monthly, this is weekly, and it's like, okay, Naruto's manga didn't use overkill of tone. So putting that panel of Shigaraki and Deku up, that's not really a good comparison. It's different art styles, but he's done better in terms of like slowing down certain scenes, like in terms of building anticipation to get to some of those impact shots. But there are times where some of the panels, you can tell he's covering up some of his weaknesses. And for me, I'm not gonna say it's annoying, but like I see it and I see potential is not really hit there. Like a great example being if you look at since Kishi took back over, like the dinner table scene where you had Naruto and Kawaki and Hinata, Himawari, they're all there, and like Boruto and Kawaki, they're going back and forth, and you have the faces are drawn really small when they're getting super animated and over the top, like when Naruto's like, that's a good idea coming from someone like you, and like Boruto just gets over the top. Whereas if you go back a chapter before that, and I think in chapter 61, when you had Naruto give Boruto those Byakugan drugs,
Mhm.
when you had the Sukenboku humor, where you had Boruto eat the drug like immediately because he thinks and he's like, well, it's my only option. I don't need to think over it for a while. He takes a drug, and Naruto's just drawn with this over the top expression, and eyes are a lot bigger. You needed more of that at the dinner table where it's more emphasis. Or like in 2 chapters ago where you had Sarda and she was saying like, oh my God, that's my line. Why are you saying my line? And Boruto's running off. Sarda's drawn from the side. I guarantee you when the anime does it, they're gonna change the angle around and it's gonna be looking right at Sarda and Mitsuki from the front and not from the side. And it's because Ikimoto, by his own words, has said, I'm not good drawing eyes. I can't really draw comedy. That's a comedy scene. So I
Mm.
mean, like if you know what to look for, like there are weaknesses there, but I give him credit for improving because like when Boruto first started, like shit was trash. Like the art was trash. Like the realism's there, like great realism. Like the way he does hair, the detail on clothes and everything, brilliant. Like there's a lot of good stuff there. His backgrounds are brilliant, but like when Boruto first came out, like between it being a recap of the movie and just the flow of everything, like I put the manga down for like 16, 17 months. Whenever Kawaki showed up, that's when I was like, oh shit, okay, the dude's here. Let me read this. And I just kind of speed read, and I've been reading it monthly ever since.